Hello people of YouTube, it's Deephack here, and welcome to the Deephack live stream at DCS News. Hey, welcome to the stream, Stevie B. I hope that you guys enjoyed that, the most recent tutorial in the F16, employing guns and rockets. Who doesn't like a bit of burt and whoosh bang? I don't know if they've changed the gun sound since the last time I was mucking around with the gun all that much, but I really enjoyed firing the gun, as you might have noticed, because I had to do it twice, even though that was totally unnecessary. Hello Tog, welcome to the stream. Welcome Byron. So yes, that was the most recent tutorial. Next week's tutorial, we're actually touching on the targeting pod, so at last we'll be getting our hands on some precision targeting for our weapons, which will be a bit of fun. Hello Dave, welcome to the stream. So yes, next week you should expect that we'll be doing the targeting pod, Lightning 2 targeting pod in the F16. Then we can move on to all kinds of cool stuff. But we'll now begin the thing you've all been waiting for, the DCS World News with myself, and as always, dotChuckles. I salute you, sir.
Salute you too. Yes, it's everybody's favorite fat bearded idiot. Marvelous. We have a lot to talk about this week, I think, don't we?
There have been things happening. Many things. Yes, quite a few videos for one thing, but of course, as always, we have the weekly newsletter from Eagle Dynamics with a bunch of interesting topics, which you can see here on screen. So yeah, what do they say? Well, they say, it's with great pleasure that we announce 2.7 has moved to DCS World Stable. So yeah, that's super nice to have the stable and the open beta synchronized. There's a whole thing about free to play, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
We're going to come back to that.
We're going to come back to that. They talk about the attention that they're bringing to the F16 with a most recent video about JDAM coming to it, which is really cool, and we're going to show that a little bit later as well. They're also the only other thing they mention is ironing out bugs, which is good, but not super sexy or exciting. And then yes, they also have a thing about the R-27 missile, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, skipping over the free trials, the F16. So what else do they mention in here? Yeah, so they have a video which we'll show in a moment of the GBU 31 and GBU 38. But yeah, they then talk about bugs. Once they fix those bugs, they're going to be focusing on completing important air-to-air radar functions like dual target track, SAM mode, bullseye, intercept steering queue, ACM slew, and more. ACM slew, it reminds me of the thing they recently added to the Hornet, actually. It now has that wide acquisition kind of slewing mode.
Yep. I mean, we've said it every week. There was always this idea that when the F18 was done, which it pretty much is, because we're going to talk about that in a moment, that development was going to ramp up on the F16, and that's kind of what we're seeing, because we're now seeing key weapon systems being added, and key parts of the air-to-air radar. And I mean, I'm going to predict that the pace of these updates are going to increase. That's my prediction. Now that F18 is pretty much done and put to bed, the F16 is going to start to shine, I think, which is great, because it's needed it.
Oh, very much so. So yeah, they also talk about the helmet-mounted queuing system with harm targeting system. So my understanding is that the F16 can actually display symbology from the harm targeting system pod in the helmet-mounted sight, which, like for a like a wild weasel or suppression of enemy air defenses role is pretty incredible.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong on this, and I am frequently wrong on many things. But I think part of the F-16's design, as it was to be a wild weasel aircraft, wasn't it?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, it was like from the get-go. Yeah, from the get-go, it was to be a wild weasel aircraft. So it makes sense that it's got these little integrations with harm and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was in fact one of the F-16 was designed to replace a number of different aircraft, one of which being the F-4 in its Wild Weasel configuration. So that's for sure. Link 16 air to ground mode. Oh yeah, so they're talking more about the helmet mounted queuing system. So Link 16 symbology, as we've already seen in the Hornet, we should have that in the F16 as well. The air to ground mode and IFF, and then the JSO and the jammer pod will be next in line after that. So
yeah, it's starting to move on. It's starting to become a module now, as opposed to something that felt a bit empty and a bit basic. You know, we're starting to get proper things here now. It's good.
Tog wants to know where his tornado is.
It's not a tornado.
You heard it here first. It's not a tornado. Yes. I keep forgetting that the US Air Force never bought the integrated jammer. The US Air Force is one of the few operators of F-16s who... Well, not the few. There are quite a few, but they're one of the ones that don't have that extended tail with the built-in jammer.
Yeah, with the brick on the top.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was meant to be a supplemental aircraft. Clearly, it's not that anymore, says Tog. Yeah, that's true. It was the lightweight fighter aircraft program, and it's the F-16 has turned into a crazy thing because the F-16 and the F-15, of course, were developed at about the same time. You know, the heavyweight fighter aircraft and the lightweight fighter aircraft. And the F-16 program really seems to have ballooned quite a bit. It's very multi-role.
It's interesting. It's the jet. I think it's the Air Force jet that captured the imagination. You know, for the Navy it was the F-14. You know, because of Top Gun, but for the Air Force, the F-16s definitely captured the imagination more so than I think the F-15 and things like that. Because films like Iron Eagle, where was the F-15 in that? Well, it wasn't there. It had such a following and a cultural. A cultural awareness, like people could go, oh, it's an F-16. Like people who didn't know much about planes would be like, oh, it's a Viper. Whereas, the rest of them was like, it's a plane.
Tog is disagreeing with us, and I wonder if there's a difference between the international and the kind of US domestic view on this, because of course the F-15 was not exported very much. The F-16 was massively exported, and so for us outside of the United States, the F-16 is the symbol of the US Air Force.
I don't know because the kind of media that was sort of really glamorizing the F-16 was from the US.
True. Yeah.
And I mean, Tog's wrong about the F-15 because it's a fucking ugly jet.
I'm not getting involved.
It looks good from precisely one angle, and then you move a little bit of that. No, you've ruined it now.
Yes. That's
true. I mean, the F-16 massively exported, and it's got like a crazy. It's got like a crazy, victory to loss ratio as well. It's, but I don't know if that's because it's seen more action. I'd be interested to see numbers on that.
Yeah, in certain configurations and up to certain altitudes, it has a greater than 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio. So it can actually accelerate in the vertical. Or at least that used to be the case. I don't know if they've weighed it down with enough additional equipment now that that's no longer true. But it used to be capable of accelerating vertically, obviously in a clean configuration. It's pretty incredible.
Oh, I've triggered Tog. Oh dear. Can't take the opinion.
Dearie me.
No. The F-15 is a great jet. I just I think the F-16's got the looks. It's got the looks. Like the F-15, that's the jet I'd take home to meet my mum and dad. the F-16's the jet that I'd take out in the car and park up somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh dear, oh dear.
There's an analogy that nobody needed.
Yes, yes. Let's rewind to 2 minutes ago when we didn't hear him say that, and everybody was happier for it.
Oh my god.
So, on to the next thing. The supercarrier deck crew. We're getting a bunch of notable updates. I assume this is also coming in the next open beta. Some of these are funny. So most of it is really just improvement. They're talking in particular about meshes for the skinning of the hands and gloves. They were talking about skeletons and things like that. But Airboss model has been improved with improved hands and removed beer belly. And I think this is a step backwards.
It's a step backwards in terms of realism, I think.
Yes. Airboss should have a beer belly. Also, you might not like it, but this is peak male performance. This is what the peak male body looks like.
Yeah. This is he's had his bacon rolls, because he's a goddamn hero.
Yes.
He's allowed his bacon rolls in the morning.
Exactly. And if the sun is shining in his eyes in the morning, he'll turn the whole bloody ship.
Yes. A couple of degrees to port. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah.
That's better.
That's better.
It's also a true story as well.
Yes, I know. I heard that one. I'm trying to remember. Was that Chief of the Watch or something like that? I can't remember. Or an EXO. I forget. But,
yeah. He turns the whole shit because the sun's in my eyes. I can't handle it.
Oh dear. I like some of these change notes are pretty funny. Fixed excessive bending animation of the legs while walking. I'm seeing Monty Python here and the Ministry of Silly Walks. I didn't notice the way they were walking before. I'm gonna have to look really closely now before they fix it.
No, I know, because like with the deck crew, I just kind of went, yeah, that's cool enough. I didn't really pay close attention. I'm gonna have to pay attention. And,
yeah, but that's in the cockpit when you're sitting on the cat ready to be launched. They look bloody awesome, and of course, all improvements are very, very welcome. But yeah, I don't think there's much wrong with them currently, but who knows? Improvements are good. So yeah, fixed sliding legs. I don't even know what half of this means. But they've added a whole load of idle animations to give them a more natural look, which is nice.
Holy crap! Did we just get a super chat? Yeah, we did. We just got a fucking super chat because somebody wants tornado content.
Where's my tornado content? Tell us more about the tornado, dotChuckles. They're demanding this of you.
Oh God!
Are we ever going to get to do the news without without being interrupted by tornado chat?
I know. Oh God! I so wish it's a tornado. Like I've said every bloody time, it's not a tornado. But you see, if it was, even though I'm wrong, I'm going to be so happy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Funnily enough, I was looking on eBay the other night, and I very nearly bought a nice mounted fan blade from RB, it had been in a
blah blah.
Yeah, it had come out of a GR1. And it was a really nice presented thing. It was a mounted fan blade, and it had a little small section of the skin cut out. Where
RB199. I was trying to remember. Yeah, that's called.
And it was sexy, but it was expensive. But I'd very nearly bought it because it was tornado fan blade. It's the best jet in the world.
Yeah, like how many frontline military aircraft can you say have bucket thrust reversers?
Not many. Some on the Soviet side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some on the Soviet side. No, it was a sexy jet. The fin was super sexy. It was supposed to be a twin tail early on in its design stage, when it was the MR what was it? The MRCA? Was it the MRCA? That was it used to be called. It's like multi-role combat future aircraft or something like that. Back in when it was still on the drawing board, before it got its name. It was originally supposed to be a twin tail, and for some reason they changed it and made it a single tail, and that's why it's got the massive fin at the back, the massive shark's tail.
Yes.
So there we go.
Frantic Stone. Tornado is the best jet, second only to F16. ATOG. Okay, right. Please, chat. No fighting.
Oh, we're just stirring the pot. Love for everyone. We know that. We know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we should carry on with the news.
Yeah. And in the news, the R-27 missile. In April of this year, we conducted preliminary computational fluid dynamics research of the R-27 family of missile aerodynamics. I'm seeing the word aerodynamics here too many times. Anyway, but the objective was the correction of zero-lift drag and missile ballistics refinement. As a result of this research, the zero-lift drag coefficient was reduced. So this is telling me that basically the R-27s are going to go further now, which is probably realistic. I would imagine that's probably realistic.
But can we just take a moment to point out a couple of years ago the ruckus in the forums when everybody was saying about the DCS missile modeling was that this isn't quite right. Like, not sure that this is working. And Eagle Dynamics were like, no, it's 100% accurate. Secret documents. Boom, end of discussion. And now suddenly, so we've done some calculations, and actually, it's not quite right. So.
Well, if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I think they've clearly been addressing the missile stuff for quite some time. Just recently they did, the AMRAAM, the Sparrow. I don't know if they've done the Sidewinder. I can't remember, but I remember definitely there was a big update to the AMRAAM and Sparrow, which wasn't just. You go ahead.
Sorry, carry on. No. I'm just saying it's more a pleasant change in the way the Eagle Dynamics approaches its material.
Yes.
From how they used to do it, which was, no, this is accurate, you're all wrong, we've got the documents, no, we can't show you because they're secret, to, actually, maybe we should look at this and improve our product. So I applaud them in this, but I just want to point out the irony. That's
absolutely
all.
Yes. Which we should always do.
I'm just going to take an irony sip now.
An irony sip. Welcome to the stream, Bina. Nice to have you along. Yes, so AMRAAM and Sparrow really nicely tarted up now. And it wasn't just aerodynamics, it was also changes to the autopilot, just to make them operate a little bit more intelligently, which was pretty cool. So yes, super good. And if anybody's interested, they do have a report, which I'm not going to read right now.
Just want to call out some stuff in chat, Tog mentioning the F4.
The F4.
Yep, I would fly the shit out of an F4 module. That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm just flicking through the screenshots that we had accompanying this week's newsletter. I like this one. It's such a shame that we can't get modern Russian jets without Putin personally murdering us all.
Yeah.
An SU-27S. That am I right in thinking that is mostly the current frontline Russian Air Force aircraft? I know they also have the 27M. I don't really know the difference between the S and the M.
Yeah, and then there's
SM as well.
There's the 34, but I don't think there's many of them though. That's the thing.
Yeah, my understanding is the 27.
Sorry, is it 34, 34, 33? Which one?
33 is navalized. 34
navalized.
is the
34.
Seats.
Yeah, 34. That's kind of like their big gun, but I don't think they've got many of them.
No. And this is the thing. Like I think the upgraded versions of the 27 are still kind of the backbone, and then the other cool ones that they have are in fairly limited numbers. Is my understanding.
Tog raises a point about go buy the rights from Ukraine, no Putin, no problem. But it is actually kind of a valid point because the Luftwaffe inherited MiG-29s. Yeah, and operated them alongside, when German reunification happened, we had MiG-29s being operated in NATO.
Yes.
So
that is correct.
I
think they even had some NATO compatibility systems installed. I would assume the IFF and things like that. So they were properly integrated into NATO. That is.
So why couldn't we get a MiG-29 module? I mean, because all the data is out there.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near like the Luftwaffe MiG-29 is nowhere near what the Russians have now.
No, they weren't super fulcrums or anything like that. They were basically the original export variant, and the only difference, as I recall, that they had was that they had the hump fuel tank in the body, so they basically had more internal fuel capacity. But other than that, they were the export variant, so they were actually fairly basic.
And I mean, a proper MiG-29 cliquey cockpit, module, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Oh yeah. I would be into that. The thing is that there's not that much, there's not that much going on with the MiG-29. Like it is not a very advanced aircraft. You don't really have any avionics per se. You have a radar and a CRT, and it has an autopilot.
Had a fairly impressive fly-by-wire system.
Did it have fly-by-wire?
I'm pretty sure it did. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. It had, or it was certainly a
stability augmentation.
Stability augmentation, which I think was sort of quite impressive. But many of the devs live in Russia, though, might get awkward for them. Yeah, it's true. I
believe that most of them do. So that's it's all a bit dodgy.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I would have liked to have seen some sort of frontline Russian stuff. But there we go.
Well, yeah, sometimes that's the way. Okay, so on to the next thing. What else do we have here? Hornet features. We're
going to talk about stable updated to open beta.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes,
because we missed that.
We missed that. I think this was just yesterday. Am I right?
Yes,
they actually synchronized.
I think so.
Yeah. So stable is now on 2.7.1.
Yeah, but the reason why I wanted to mention it is that I'm quite excited by this because, like, the next patch we're going to start seeing some proper new technologies, aren't we? If you're on Open Beta Branch. Because usually when they do the synchronization, it's because they're about to move into another iteration.
Yeah.
Certainly that's how it's been in the past. When there's been an alignment, they've then moved into like a next generation of stuff. So I'm kind of excited to see what might happen out of that.
Yeah, that is interesting. Things that they've talked about are improvements to the effects. So they've talked about things like explosions, smoke, the simulation of the atmosphere, different types of vapor. Because they still had a lot of plans with regards to different types of vapor. We don't have all of the things they wanted to add. I can't even remember the list they had now, but there were some additional types of vapor effects they wanted. Oh yeah, actually, one of the ones I'm most interested about was the transonic vapor cones and things like that. They want to add that.
Yes. So new toys, basically. That's
Indeed. And then Hornet. With Hornet approaching the end of early access, Matt Wagner, in a recent video, which we'll be showing in a moment, called out 2 items, and only 2 items, that he feels need to be completed before end of early access. And that was the ACLS, which is the automatic carrier landing system, and approach mode for the ATC, which is the approach mode of the auto throttle. And this would allow practically hands-off landings on the carrier with the F-18. I think it is possible to engage the autopilot and have it follow ACLS. Although I don't know if it follows it down to the deck, but it definitely follows it, all the way down to the end of the glide slope.
I don't know. Although, whilst it's not the F-18, that kind of sort of automated carrier landing system, holy crap. I once saw a video, I think it was a French Mirage landing on their carrier in true 0-0 visibility.
Yeah.
fully automated. It was shot through the HUD. It was terrifying because it was nothing, 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 nothing. Then you saw the HUD do the, like, because it's just trapped.
Yes.
And only then did you see the tower of the air, like the island of the aircraft carrier. It's just like,
would that perhaps be a Rafale? I don't think the Mirage was ever named.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're right. You're completely right. The Rafale. Yeah. I mean that. I mean, he must have like a couple of ground crew to just help him carry his bollocks into the cockpit. I mean,
I think naval aviators in general are a special breed. I don't think I have the guts for that.
No, that's something else. That's something else.
Yep.
But yeah, Hornet coming in the end. I mean, it is by no means complete. But
damn good.
It's pretty damn good. Certainly, there are some things that I think are still missing. But out of early access, yeah. And it means the F16 will get some love.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And the two things that he called out that they're wanting to get added to the F16 next, with the exception of the bug fixes, is the JDAM, which we'll see in just a moment, and JSOW. He says those are the next two things that are going to land for the F16. Land.
No, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So yeah, and actually taking a little look, I'm just popping up the planned F16 stuff.
Chuck's chat. Things missing. Super Hornet variant. Things never coming. Super Hornet variant. Yeah,
that's
true.
That is a completely different aircraft. It almost has nothing to do with the F-18C.
Oh dear.
Yes. So they mention Link 16 data link, which I think, it's pretty much fully implemented in the F16, with the exception of the transmit designate stuff. So in the real F16, on the radar page, you can actually press a button and choose a wingman, and it will actually send your radar lock or your bugged target straight to your wingman's radar and have him have it instead. So you can actually assign targets, and it has the same system for ground SOI transmission. And so we're missing that, but apart from that, we have most of the features of the Link 16. Sadly, the mids voice that we have in the Hornet, this is something I've been wanting in the F16, and as I understand it, I've been following a bunch of conversations on the forum, the version of the F16 that we have never had that feature. It only ever had the data terminal features of mids, not the voice.
Oh, interesting.
So that's very sad, because I was wanting a world in multiplayer where we could use SRS and use mids on F-16s and F-18s, but apparently the F-16 doesn't have it. Damn sad. Air-to-ground radar modes. Very excited for that. I really want air-to-ground radar modes. I know that they're less used these days now that we have the targeting pods, but things like the C mode and the ground-moving target mode, there are still some really useful modes of the radar. And of course, you can still do very automated CCRP bombing runs just using the radar. So good to have. D, G, H, and K versions of the Maverick are in already. HARM is in already. HTS, we're waiting on that. That would be really nice to see, because for this version of the F16, it's so key. I'm not going to look at the chat.
Yeah, I know.
The laser-guided bombs are in. Now with the JDAM, the Smart Rack is in. The CBUs, I think... I knew it. The CBUs, I think, are in. JSO is coming shortly. Jahikmis with all of its integrated stuff. And we have the night vision goggles. And then we've got the Toad decoy. The Toad decoy is really interesting, because it's something that I've always heard referenced in relation to the F-16, but I've never heard of it actually being used or seen it. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how effective it is. I literally know nothing about the Toad decoy.
Does the F-18 not have it as well?
I think it's only the Super Hornet.
It's only the Super Hornet that has the Toad's decoy. Yeah.
I think. But you don't quote me on that, because I'm not entirely sure. And And I'm also, I think the Harrier and the F-16 also have the ability to deploy, what do they call them again? It's like little jammers, but they throw them out the back. They're like battery operated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Because the F-16 has bins for chaff, flare, and then it also has 01 and 02 type decoys, and I think those are like jamming decoys, or at least one of them is. But that's probably something, I assume that's something that was like top secret for a while or something, because I've never seen good information on it.
That stuff is like, I mean, like I know with the way that the Growler is supposed to operate, it can do things with decoys and launch stuff that goes off and disperses decoys and does, but it's all like pretty top. I mean, the US electronic warfare capability is pretty,
pretty damn
stellar.
good.
So it's pretty damn good. So yeah, I don't know how.
Have you ever watched videos on the Operations Room channel on YouTube? You haven't? Oh, okay. It's very, very good. I've posted them to our Discord a couple of times, but he does descriptions of like Operation Desert Storm or Mogadishu and things like that. And on one of the Gulf War, I forget if it was Gulf War 1 or Gulf War 2, I assume Gulf War 2, he detailed the usage of the Growler and how it launched missiles or something that looked like squadrons of fighters. Yeah. And like he was talking about, so of course he didn't tell us details, but he told us the capabilities and what they did. And it was sort of incredible.
I knew it had that capability that it can basically create fake flights and it can deploy a drone kind of thing that it can mimic the radar return of a flight of whatever.
Yes,
it's pretty nails. It's pretty cool.
It does some really cool stuff. Yeah, I'm being asked by Dasher to increase the volume of my microphone. I'm apparently slightly quiet, so I'm going to do that now for you, sir. Thank you for the shout. Let me see. Can I fix this? Let me know if I end up being too loud after this. But I've now changed it.
Sounding good to me.
Good. Cool. Oh, yes, the one in the F-14 as well. Yes, you're absolutely right. The F-14 has something similar. In the F-14, I believe it's like a glider that it fires. I've actually, it's implemented in DCS, and I've seen videos of people using them in DCS. It's apparently quite effective against SAM sites. So like the capabilities of these kinds of systems are sort of incredible. So yes, anyway, sorry to go off on one about that, but I find this fascinating, and I've never seen it really implemented in a sim.
Yeah. Where were we?
Well, we were just talking about the stuff to be implemented in the F-16. I think we've covered that. Yeah. So then on to the next.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look at this. And
JDAMs.
We're getting the JDAMs on smart racks, no less.
Smart racks. GPS guided boom.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a really nice demonstration of these weapons. We're getting the GBU-31 and GBU-38 with some different fusing, and I think it's just different fuses actually. I was going to say filling options, but I think they only have they're all Mark 82s basically. Well, no, sorry. The one of them is Mark 82, the other one's a Mark 84. But anyway.
Yeah, they've got it's a smart kit that basically bolts on, and it's
Yep, exactly. I'm going to fast forward a bunch of the stuff that he's doing on the ground, and then we'll get to the part where he's actually deploying the weapons. Because we don't want to watch this for too long. But actually, very interesting, of course, is his flying over Cyprus.
Taking off from what was it? Patmos?
I don't know. But actually, Andrew Sewell, greetings from DCS Half. That's really cool. Welcome, Andrew.
Welcome.
And yes, of course, we have some Greek skins. And in fact, Wagner was flying a Greek skin in this particular video. So yeah, really nice to see this. Actually, this was a triple nice video, because he's showing off Cyprus, he's showing off the JDAMs, and he's and he tells us about the kind of last things to be implemented in the Hornet and what's coming for the F16. So this
I think
well worth a watch.
I think the next video actually probably shows off Cypress better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? The MI24 one?
Yeah, MI24. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I actually thought the one where they're talking about the free-to-play thing showed it off even better.
Oh yeah, but we're leaving that because we're coming back to talk about this.
That's more to come later.
More to come later. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, of course, getting JDAMs is really, really nice, and the fact that they've got these 4 programmable profiles for their deployment just makes me want DTE all the more, and I want DTE for the F16s and F18s. We need DTE, man. I want some desktop programming.
Yep.
So yeah, there's not really too much more to say about this video. He goes ahead and he drops both in pre-planned mode and visual mode. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the same JDAMs you've seen everywhere else, except now hanging off an F16. So, on to the next. And
Yeah.
MI24 and unguided munitions. In this one, he demonstrates the internal cannon, the gun pods, and the rocket pods. And these gun pods and rocket pods, they're the exact same ones that we currently hang on the MI8. The GUV gun pods are particularly interesting because they have 2 different types of gun. I'm trying to remember, is it 2 or 3? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 different types of gun, in fact. So they have, I think.
Why is it not? Is it not 2 rotaries and a grenade launcher? Isn't it?
It depends on the version. There are multiple versions.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a grenade launcher version. He doesn't show that off yet. This one is the gun pod. So it has in the middle, I think it's a 4-barrel rotary 12.7mm machine gun, and then it has 2 rotary barreled 7.62 machine guns, and you can fire one system or the other, or both at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of
lead.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lead.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
And I agree with Frantic. The alligator eyes are really cool.
It's the thing that I liked about this video is seeing the sort of the combiner sight. It's so retro. It's proper vintage, isn't it?
Oh yes.
With the fixed sight, and then drawn over the top of it is its computed sight, and the symbology is so basic, and there's no blanking or anything like that. It's like, yeah, it's very much a product of its time, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that both the backup sight and the automatic sight are just projected onto the same glass, and they can kind of conflict with each other. It's like, that's just fantastic.
Yeah, there's no blanking at all. Yeah, it's just, yeah, very much a product of its time, and all. I think I want to say it's all analog. I don't think there's much in the way of digital computing going on here.
I'd be very surprised if there's anything other than analog going on here. Yeah, it's pretty basic, but it works, and it's surprisingly effective.
And God, has worked for what? 40? I'm trying to think now. Coming up on 50 years, is it not?
Most likely, yeah. The earliest variants were a very long time ago.
Yeah, coming up on 50 years, man. That's like they built that thing to last.
Yes. Yeah, it was designed to survive nuclear, biological, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I'm
just going to bump it forwards a little bit. So yeah, here we go. Here we get the bit where the 2 gun sights just collide with each other on the glass, which I find kind of funny. I want to jump it forwards.
Look at Cyprus though. That looks so good.
It does.
Yeah.
Seeing him fly over Cyprus is a joy every time, and they haven't really said when we should expect this. So yeah, Frantic is saying can't wait until next Friday to check out.
Apparently it's next Friday. Apparently it's next week. Like that's what sources have said. But
well,
we'll see.
The Steam product page said the 16th, right?
Yeah, it said the 16th, but the thing is that Steam launch dates is
Yeah, fake.
Fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because I think Steam has to launch on a certain day. That's part of their, because they have their update days and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, soon anyway, soon TM.
Soon TM, absolutely. Frantic says he's the source. Okay.
He's the source.
I'm very much looking forward to it, and you can guarantee that the day it's released, unless there's something crazy going on in my life, I will be streaming and be giving my first impressions on this bird. And hopefully there'll be other members of the VAF joining me in that.
They brought it forward, though. They got to do it for tax purposes.
Dearie me. So, next video. We've got a bunch of videos this week. Yeah. The free-to-play program and stable release. First, before we get into the free-to-play thing, I just want to say that whoever made this video is a genius, because I found it really stirring. Like, the music, the atmosphere, the graphics. This is a brilliant video.
It's really good.
Do they still have Glowing Amram doing their stuff? Is it still that K2
I don't know. I have no idea who makes their videos, but they do a very good job.
Yeah. This is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. But yes, the reason they created this video was to publicize the fact that Stable has been updated and that they're doing a very, very confusing free-to-play system, which you and I have talked about a bit. I think we kind of get it now, but like on first listen, it sounds like absolute nonsense, and your brain will just twist into a pretzel trying to understand.
I mean, I'm not being thick here. Like, am I just being stupid? Like, but it was like, what, you get 2 weeks for 6 months, but then after 6 months you get what?
Yes. Oh, this is the shot. Oof.
Oh god, that does look good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's looking really nice.
This right. All the applause for free to play to allow people to try modules out.
Yes.
Not in any way criticizing for that. But guys, this is fucking stupid. Just give people a 2-week free trial. Done. Like this, you get it for in the first 6 months, you can have 2 weeks, but then you got to do this, and then you've got to draw sigils and salt and sacrifice a goat, and after 6 months, you get another. Just fuck off, Jesus.
So let me explain it because otherwise people are just going to get annoyed that we're not explaining it. So
it's impossible to explain.
So for 6 months you can download and play any module for DCS that you want free for 2 weeks for that particular module during that 6 month period. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then after 6 months it completely resets and they do it again for another 6 months. So you then have another 2 weeks to play the same modules if you wanted to. Within that 6 month period.
Yeah, but why?
I know.
And the way that they explained it, it was like, what? What? Huh?
The funniest thing was, like, when he first explained it, it was like, for 6 months you can play any module for 2 weeks. And I was like, fantastic, I understand. And he was talking about it for a while, and then he goes, and then for 6 months after that, I was like, what? Oh no, my head.
I mean, just like what annoys me about this is DCS has got a rep for being too complicated. Okay.
Yes.
Now, but for people like us, it's not. You know, that's great. But we're not the kind of people that are going to be drawn in by a free to play period. We're gonna go and buy the damn module because we know what DCS is and we want it. But somebody who isn't like us and is like, oh well, I've heard DCS is a bit complicated. Oh, they're doing a free to play period. Let's have a read a bit.
Yeah.
That's enough internet for me today, and fuck off. Jesus!
And actually, I hadn't thought of this, but Dasher makes a really good point in the chat. Imagine that English is not your first language, and then try to understand this.
It's I'm not knocking the, like, I absolutely applaud that they're being more open in giving people a way to try their products. completely fantastic. 100% on board with this idea. Why does it have to be this complicated? How hard is it to say, well, if you download the module, you get 2 weeks to decide if you like it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
keep it simple.
Just who came up with this? And why was it allowed? Why did nobody in the room go, mate, that's ridiculous. Sit down, shut up. You know, like...
Well.
And I keep checking, like, am I just being stupid? Like, is this actually really, really simple to understand? And I'm thick. Nope. This is just a ridiculous way of doing it.
No, it's a bit silly. But I like the point that you made earlier about DCS already being seen as difficult to get into, because we're both members of the Virtual Air Force, which I'd like to give a little shout out to just now.
Indeed,
we run a virtual squadron online focusing on DCS and a number of the modules, and something that we experience quite regularly is however many people we do a mission every week, and however many people start that mission, it's never the same number that finish it, because there's always people having technical problems, or the game crashes, or their hardware isn't working correctly with the game, and so on. So I think your point is very well made, that DCS is too hard to get into. And some efforts need to be made there. If you ignore the free-to-play thing, I think the free-to-play thing is great, in fact, because some people will stick with it. Some people will stick with it, but the barrier to entry is high.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's for some people, like I say, if you like the idea of military flight sim, that looks really, really good, but you're not technically minded.
Yes.
You learn your skills, you learn, you grow and all that kind of stuff. But, if there's just this initial step to get over, and, and now they're adding this step. And I mean, Tog said, he said it's for 6 months, every module is free for 2 weeks. Yeah, but then it's the bit after and then for the next 6 months and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, why can't I just go and try this one for 2? I mean, that's where it just gets ridiculous and stupid. And it's like, just give people a 2 week free trial. Like, I got it in the end, but I had to sit and work through it, and the way it was explained was really mad. And it's like, if you're a non-native English speaker and you're not technically minded, but you'd like to give, a flight sim a go, you're just not going to do it. It's like, all the applause for them adding a free trial, but
yeah, totally. I agree.
We should, we shouldn't need to have to consult, a checklist in order to figure out how to download the free demo.
Yes. And as Frantic says, you all should join VAF. It's fun, and that's the next thing that me and Chuck want to talk about just now. Is that we want the profile of the Virtual Air Force, which is a fairly we're a small group of pilots who like to fly together. It's something that myself and Chuck started a number of years ago now, and has been slowly growing, but we feel like we want to try and push it to the next level. There are lots of things that we want to achieve. We're not there yet. The current setup is very basic. We're basically just like a flying club. We're a bunch of people who like to fly. We tend to fly. We do a mission or training once a week, and then sometimes there's a bit of flying at the weekend. It really just depends who's available. But we're very much wanting to recruit more people, to grow it, and to source help from people who join as well, because we're not able to run this on our own. We need people who have skills in mission editing and providing training and all kinds of stuff like that. So please come and join us. Please check out the Virtual Air Force.
Come along and join us, because whilst we have all these skills, it's in a small group of people, and that's quite a lot of burden to put on folks, and then it sort of causes people to burn out with stuff. So come along, join in. It's all good fun. We want to grow and move to bigger and better things. So.
Yeah. And quite recently we got the dedicated server, which is running great. It's really nice to have that. We have ambitions to become a little bit more milsim. We want to try and make use of correct radio phraseology. We fly with SRS. We would also like to make use of human ATC and GCI. It's something we've done a little bit in the past, but we need more people in order to realize some of these dreams. And you could also fly with dashing gentlemen such as myself, dotChuckles, and Frantic. And what more could you possibly want?
And when we're inevitably proved wrong about Heatblur's next module being the Griffin and it is actually a tornado, we will definitely be flying that.
and of course, both you and I will need to shave our beards and just have mustaches.
Just fine RAF mustaches.
I can simulate. This is what it would look like. We need to have proper RAF mustaches.
What was it? We were talking the other day about.
Oh no! Have we lost dotChuckles? Wow, this could be a first. We're having a technical fault. I'm gonna wait a moment and see if we get that thought finished. I'm actually very very impressed and amused that we've perhaps just had our very first ever technical fault. Yeah, he has sadly dropped off there. I wonder what it was he was about to say. I don't know. In the meantime, I'm going to take a very quick look at the chat and respond to you guys. We were actually right at the end of the news, so we were just about to finish the show there. I hope that dotChuckles' internet does come back at some point. Imagine the tornado flights. Well, yeah, obviously, if the tornado is being released for DCS, then we will, of course, be flying that. Any events during US time zones? Well, that's a very good question. Currently, we fly on Thursdays at usually around about 9 p.m. CET. So that's UTC plus 1. I guess US time zones are starting at kind of -6 and then going up to -8 or 9. I don't even really know what US time zones are. Oh, fantastic! There we go. We have dotChuckles back. Let me fix the video feed here.
Yeah.
So that was like the best way that you could have possibly dropped out, but it was mid thought. You were like you had some big thought you wanted to share with us, and then you froze. And I was like, wow, that is amazing.
I know. No, what I was going to say is we were thinking, we were talking about the Navigator AI, and he obviously couldn't be Jester. And yes. Somebody came out with that, can't remember who said, oh, we could call it, it'd be Jasper.
Jasper. Oh, my. Well, there you go. That's the thought. That was an amazing cliffhanger there.
Yeah, there you go. It totally wasn't worth waiting for, but that's the DCS news. There we go.
Absolutely. What a place to pause. So yeah, actually, someone was just asking about US time zones. So actually, that was a really good point. I didn't say when we fly. So we fly on Thursdays, 9 p.m. UTC plus 1. Yeah.
Frantic, you're an absolute see you next Tuesday.
Oh, dear.
I've just looked at the Discord.
Yes.
Sorry, I was laughing my bollocks off. You may wish to repeat when we fly.
Yes, all right, no problem. Yeah, so I was just saying Thursdays, 9 p.m. UTC plus 1. Now, of course, if we gained more pilots, and we had, especially if we had people who wanted to fly the weekend then, of course, allows us to accommodate people across more time zones. The link, link to our Discord, probably the easiest thing is to go to virtualairforce.com. And on the website, I believe it's at the bottom of the page, there's a link directly into our Discord. That will take you into our lobby. Actually, I'm just going to put this in here. And we have an application form on the website, but actually don't worry about that. Feel free to just jump straight into the Discord lobby and say to somebody, hey, I want to join. That is perfectly acceptable.
It might be. It might actually be quite nice. Maybe we'll do it in a little while, where all these viewers who show up regularly. I mean, looking at people like Tog, Byron, all you guys, you're here every week. Like, maybe we could do a social. like on
Yes.
the server, and just like, everybody pile in, and we'll just all, talk nonsense for a bit.
That is
like,
actually a really good idea. I like that.
Yeah. You guys
crack
are
out
here
the
every
beers.
week, and yeah, well, that's it. You guys are here every week, and you interact, and it's a lot of fun talking with you all and having the banter. So, like, let's do a social sometime. We'll do it on the Discord, and
Yes.
people can come in. Yeah, we'll crack out the beers, and we'll talk.
Come to the after party. We can rub shoulders. We can have some beers.
Yes, exactly it.
I love it.
Let's do that.
I love it.
We'll organize it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, let's do it. Let's absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Absolutely, this is our call to action. Please, if you do play DCS and you want to join a squadron, please consider us. Come to the website, come to our Discord. We'd love to see you. This man up here, as always, dotChuckles, he has his own Twitch channel. He plays regularly on Twitch. Please show him some love.
Not so regularly at the moment because of work, but yeah. Do come along, and you can watch me be inept at things, because that's funny. It's funny.
Absolutely. Go and show him some love. And of course, I'm streaming, right now, and it's always on Saturdays. I'm doing my DCS tutorials, releasing a new one every Saturday, as I've just done today. And in between times, I'm playing Escape from Tarkov on the YouTube stream, so you can all see if the Tarkov gods are being nice or nasty to me on any given day. Fantastic. So that's pretty much it. As always, thank you very much to all of you for watching and for your support. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. And until next week, fly safe. We salute you.